I'm very honoured and very happy to be able to say a few words about Reb Nosson Zal, particularly the effect Reb Nosson Zal has had on me and my life. Obviously, I first came across Reb Nosson Zal in relation to learning Reb Nachman's Sפרים, Reb Nachman's teachings, and I really didn't understand the greatness of Reb Nosson, even though the Rebbe says that nobody understood me like Reb Nosson, and we see that everything that we've got is really from Reb Nosson, until I actually read Reb Chaim Kramer's book on fire and water. That gave me an insight as to really the greatness of Reb Nosson's, gave me a little understanding of his life, and an incentive then to go into his Sפרים and to see what he'd actually written other than the Likutei Moharan itself. And from there I went into Likutei Halachos, and then Likutei Tefillos, and then Alan Mutrufa in particular. And I can say that in each of those Sפרים I found something which was directly relevant to me and my life and what was happening to me at that particular moment. Now, Likutei Halachos, I had the zechus of learning with Reb Melech Zilbiger from Manchester for 20 years, virtually every evening for 20 years. For a little bit we went and we learnt Likutei Halachos. When we started, we had no idea that we would be able to make a siyum on the completion of the Likutei Halachos 20 years later in Ummah. That was a very, very great thing for me. And learning Likutei Halachos let me understand the significance of the teachings of the Rebbe and the teachings of Breslev Chassidus in general, and even the Torah of Bechlal for my everyday life, the relevance it has in every single aspect of my life. And I think of the works of the great Chassidim, the works of Reb Nosson are perhaps the least appreciated and the least widely known. Many people will learn Likutei Moharan or know about Likutei Moharan outside Breslev, but not so many of them will know about Likutei Halachos and the other Sפרים of Reb Nosson. And I think this is a terrible, terrible lack and a terrible, terrible shame. Reb Nosson brings down into one's everyday life the practicalities of what it means to be a Talmud of the Rebbe, of what it means to follow the right path. It's Likutei Halachos, it's a Likutei on how to go in life. Although it follows, we learn in Torah Vov, the halacha, the inyan of halacha is how to go in life. And that's what one learns from Reb Nosson, how to go in life. It's like having a constant counselor, a constant driving instructor, a constant mentor to know how one goes in life. And although one can pick up any small bit of the Sefer and find that it has relevance for a person at that particular time, learning the whole Sefer Keseder over a long period of times, as I did, as I say, virtually 20 years, come up virtually every day, other than Shabbos or when we're away, it has an effect, a drip, drip, drip effect on a person and his outlook, his mentality, his hashkafa, his belief system. The way one lives one's life comes slowly through Likutei Halachos. Now, I remember saying, and I'm now happy to say it in public, that if one looks at the Rebbe stories, particularly, let's say, the last story, the story of the 7 beggars, and the story of the last of those beggars, which is very, very little said, except there's a beggar without legs or with damaged legs, or damaged feet, sorry, and but really And we don't know who this beggar is, of course, and there are various suggestions, but we know that he had the perfection, just as the other beggars did, in his feet. Now, I'd like to put forward the view, which I put forward before, that maybe this beggar is Reb Nosson himself. And that what Reb Nosson did was to bring to perfection the concept of what it means to walk, to go in life. Yeah? How to go in life. And that maybe that Reb Nosson was Taka, that beggar. That beggar who perfected how we go in life through his various Sfarim, particularly through Likutei Halachos. And let me say another word about the other Sfarim. In various times in my life, when things have gone really bad, well, not badly for me, when I've looked at them in a bad way, which is my fault, nothing really goes badly. But at times when I found things difficult, the sefer that I found the greatest hischaskus is Likutei Tefillos. It's written with such a beautiful depth, with such understanding of what the Rebbe was saying, with such understanding of what tefillos are, that at certain times when I feel I'm not able to learn properly, don't find a direction, that I pick up Likutei Tefillos and it brings me back. There's no other sefer in the world that I've found that brings me back. And Baruch Hashem, for this reason, I had the zechus to help bring together a sefer based on the tefillos of Reb Nosson for women. And I hope that with this sefer that people will also see how it is in Reb Nosson's words a person is able to bring himself back into the derech, to find the Rabboni Shloim through tefillah. And the other sefer I'd like to say a word about, which also had a tremendous impact on me, was Alan Latrufa, The Healing Leaves. And many years ago, I started reading letters of that sefer, and I thought to myself, this sefer is even more hidden than all the other hidden Sfarim of Reb Nosson. And why is it so hidden? Because it's so full of everyday facts. I went to the post office, I went here and I went there, and I hope everything's well, and I'm travelling from here to there, and I hope your sister's all right, and I hope this one's all right, and I've got to pick up this sefer here, and I've got to pick up this money here, and I'm trying to raise money. But in between that, there are incredible gems of advice of how to live, particularly his chazkas again, of how to go through life. And I felt to myself, this sefer is so hidden, that because it's so hard to actually find within it exactly the words that would speak to you at that particular time. So, and I was so grateful to Reb Nosson, and I still feel that gratitude, that I thought I would bring together some of the extracts which I thought would be particularly useful for people in a sefer called Healing Leaves. And that sefer, for me, even today, if I have face real difficulties, right? Let's say on those occasions when I've been in hospital, or those occasions when I really need something to give me a lift. Not so much to push me in the right direction, which is what Likutei Tefillos does, but something to make me feel good when facing a difficulty. Then Alan Latrufa, The Healing Leaves, does it. And I take the sefer with me and I read it over and over, even though I had the zechus to compile it and know most of the bits. But every time I read it, it's something new for me. And it gives me tremendous strength and tremendous faith. And what can I say at the end, really, is really that I have phenomenal thanks to Reb Nosson. Yeah, whatever else I feel, it's a tremendous gratitude, a tremendous feeling of that whatever I can do to bring Reb Nosson to the world is only a fraction of the thanks that I feel are due to Reb Nosson for what he's done for me, what he does for others and for Klal Yisrael.